Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. Welcome to Extra Crispy. For today's video, we are going to be reacting to King of the Fourth Quarter, grading every NBA team so far this season. So I did a video like this myself a few days ago, and I love watching other people's opinions just because obviously Kenny and I are not going to have 100% the same list out there. That's the enjoyment that I get out of basketball, is that, you know, he's going to say something, I'm going to say something, and it's like just like the arguments and just like the fun discussions you can have because of that. I think makes for a great time. What's my favorite thing about sports right here. So, thing about Kenny is that every single time I watch him, I feel like he's one of the most knowledgeable, you know, NBA YouTubers out there, and it's like I always feel like I learned something. So that's what I like. It's just that, you know, I might have an opinion right now, but then I'll hear him say something like, you know what? That's a good point. Maybe I'll change my opinion, man. I think that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So yes, I'll link to his channel in the description below. Let's see what his gradings look like. If you guys want to see my grades, go to my main channel, Crispy Flakes, and I got a video titled, like, grading every NBA team 1 week into the season, something like that, if you want to go check those out. Here we go, man. Let's get it. And we back.
In this video, we're grading all 30 NBA teams. So at this point, teams have played anywhere between 4 games to 6 games.
Yeah, you get a good little sampler.
Of games of every single team. So I'm going to be grading them based on how they look so far. So one thing that is super important, and I need you to listen and really listen and pay attention to this next point, because it's very important for the rest of this video.
Let's hear it.
Ready? All of these are relative to their expectations heading in.
Thank you. I had so many people commenting on my video saying, like, Crispy, how do you have the Knicks in the C tier? It's like, because the Knicks and RJ Barrett doing better than I thought, man. Like, RJ Barrett, I thought was like going to take some time. He's like, no, he's balling out. So that's why I had him in the C tier, man. Man, people were really roasting me for the reason like that.
The Suns were projected to be one of the worst teams in the league.
Yes.
And through the first 5-6 games, they looked pretty good. So because of that, they get a high ranking over a team that still looks okay, but we're expected to look great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Please
Thank you.
Make sense to you. Okay. So
makes 100% sense to me.
This video if your favorite team has at least 1 win. Okay, thanks. Okay.
So any undefeateds out there?
Everything is relative to what we expected headed into the season. That being said, the 76ers are the last undefeated team left in the NBA. They also have only played 4 games. Now other teams have played 5, 6, you know. But
they also played the Detroit Pistons with no I don't think Reggie Jackson played, Blake Griffin didn't play, and they also got Andre Drummond. They were paying the refs or something that game because he just got he got foul trouble like right away. So realistically, they shouldn't be undefeated.
His first 4 games they looked pretty good, and they look pretty good without their offense looking great. Right, their defense is just so nice that so far they can withhold the offensive woes because the defense is just so elite. Then we have the Washington Wizards, who look decent. You know,
Isaiah Thomas balling out.
A lot of people expected to look good. They got a couple decent wins under the belt already, and they had the one game against the Rockets that they end up losing, but they put up 150 plus points.
Now Rui's looking great too.
We'll get to the Rockets once we get to them, but I would say that the Washington Wizards so far this season have looked like a C. Now with the Atlanta Hawks, they're in a bit of a weird situation because obviously Trae Young went down in that first game against Miami. They end up losing. Then the second game against Miami, they end up losing too. So I'm going to grade them based on what I saw when Trae Young was there, because obviously Trae Young is such a big
Trae Young playing the damn best point guard.
They're going to suck, right? But when he was playing,
he was playing like a damn MVP.
Good, man. They look like they could be a team to make the playoffs. They look like a team that can make the playoffs with Trae Young playing as elite as he has. DeAndre Hunter has looked good. Cam Reddish has not. I'll give him that, but it's still very early in his NBA career. But the team,
he's like what, like 18, 19?
Decent with Trae Young on the floor. Then the Cavs, another team that was expected to be bottom of the barrel so far this season.
Bro, we come up with Detroit very soon.
Right? They beat my Bulls team. They beat the Pacers. And not each game, but a bunch of their games, they've looked like, you know, they've gone down to the wire with them.
Darius Garland looks fine.
Around to see, Darius Garland is still trying to find himself as an NBA player, but I always tell people this. When it comes to point guards, it usually takes a few years before a point guard is decent, and then it takes even more years for them to be great. So you cannot be grading Darius Garland based on his first 5 games as an NBA point guard. So all that being said, they look solid.
Yeah, it's all about the turnovers too.
Has been phenomenal so far this season, getting his
rookie point guards a lot of turnovers.
And I don't know if the Cavs fans want to keep him, but you may be able to get something decent for Tristan if he continues to play it close to this level.
Yeah, like damn 20 and 12.
Having a crazy season.
Damn, man.
Same thing with Kevin Love, looking very decent again. Detroit Pistons are.
Now, Kenny, I'm just going to say before we get the Detroit Pistons right here, please keep in mind that Blake Griffin's injured. Keep in mind that Reggie Jackson's out for 4 weeks now, our starting point guard. Like Reggie or hate him, it's still our starting point guard. Tim Frazier injured. Derrick Rose was out and we still beat the Brooklyn Nets. I think this was before that game though, so that's not going to count. He's not going to base it off that. Andrew Drummond's playing great. I'm just saying, a lot of injuries. Give us at least a C. Come on, at least a C.
Another team that is kind of hard to gauge. Obviously, they've missed Blake Griffin this entire season. Reggie Jackson hasn't played every game. But they still got Drummond, who's playing very decent. Derrick Rose looks good off their bench. Shout out to D Rose back in Chicago
Luke Kennard.
last night. All they've been saying,
I'll take it. Thank you.
Kind of hard to gauge without them having all their pieces. I'm gonna put them on the C tier. They did just lose to the Bulls, but
we beat the Brooklyn Nets though without a point guard.
Their full roster. The Pacers.
Pacers been playing bad.
The Pacers have won their last 2 after starting off winless, which is a very weird situation.
How many games they play?
I admitted on Twitter that I haven't really watched many Pacer games starting the season, so I asked people on Twitter, what's the problem? Because they were one of the last teams to get a win this year. And then I had
chemistry.
People like CSB, shout out to CSB, said that Nate McMillan hasn't been doing a great job coaching. The bench hasn't done anything. And then the Miles Turner and Sabonis together hasn't really worked out. But Miles Turner sprained his ankle or something like that.
Yeah, they haven't really been playing together all that much.
So the Miles Turner and Sabonis experiment has not worked, but them being separated has so far. And then they had Goga Badatsi play pretty well. All that being said, so far this season, they've been somewhat of a disappointment.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Brogdon has looked great. He is the top of the most improved player so far. But all that being said, so far through the first 5
averaging double-digit assists, I believe.
Same thing with the Bucks. The Bucks are supposed to be a 16-win team, and they might still be that, but through the first couple games, they have not looked incredible. I admit last night they did look great playing against the Orlando Magic.
I honestly haven't paid much attention to the Bucks this year.
But so far this season, they haven't looked as good as you want them to. Long season ahead of them, but like Wesley Matthews is struggling to hit his shots. I think they're missing Malcolm Brogdon, to be honest. They're missing Malcolm Brogdon. But again,
for sure.
On A,
I thought getting rid of him
so far,
and
get
rid of Bledsoe
to their expectations, because expectation-wise, they're supposed to be one of the best teams in the league, and so far they haven't really looked like that. Again, long season. The Toronto Raptors look great. I'm putting them in the B tier. Pascal Siakam.
I'll admit when I was wrong. Toronto Raptors looking a lot better than I thought they would. Pascal Siakam's looking amazing. So I will definitely admit when I was wrong. Raptors looking good, guys. Raptors are looking good.
Siakam's averaging 28, 9, and I think 5 assists.
He's going to be an all-star.
He's 50, 40, 90 club through the first 5-6 games. He said like 96% of his free throws. Crazy.
Learned something from Kawhi.
Kyle Lowry looks rejuvenated. Kyle Lowry's always just going to be a good player, but I think so far the season's averaging 20, and that's even with when he played against the Bulls here in Chicago, he did not have a good game at all, but all of the rest of his games have looked great. Pascal Siakam looks great. Fred VanVleet has been decent, and Marcus Gasol and Serge Ibaka, you would expect both of them to regress a little bit, getting up there in age.
But together do something at least.
Comes out and performs well every night, so they looked really good. So now we have the Dallas Mavericks. They have looked very good. So
yeah, I say B. I agree with that.
Luka has looked incredible. Obviously, it looked like he's on the road to be an all-star this year, which is great for them. Porzingis is slowly starting to get into rhythm. But all that being said, like last night, they probably should have won that game. They're 3-2 right now, but they probably should have won that game. My boy Mike broke down the film for me. I wasn't even really paying attention to everything in last night's game. But on the last play, when Danny Green hit the game-time 3 to go to overtime, Maxi Kleber was guarding that corner. He was guarding that corner. And LeBron drives to the lane. And for some reason, when his team up by 3, Maxi Kleber goes to help on LeBron driving?
Yeah, that don't make sense.
It's like a big brain fart in that left.
Yeah, let him get the 2.
3. They should have won that game. All that being said, Luka looks great.
Yeah, that don't make any sense.
Still trying to find himself.
Why would you do that?
Because he missed 600 games, 600 days of basketball. So all that being said, without them having like a real third player, they look pretty good, and they could be the team to sneak into the playoffs. Then we have the Denver Nuggets. Now the Denver Nuggets have not looked very good this season, man. Jokic
off to a slow start. Yep.
He seems kind of unmotivated from the games I've watched of him. Jahlil Okafor was giving that boy work. Yes, Jahlil Okafor was giving that boy work.
I saw somebody on Twitter post something like, we give Joel Embiid such like a tough time for like, missing games and not being in shape, and then Jokic is just like looking very I was gonna make a thick joke, but Nicolo Thickic. No, it's not there. But you know what I'm saying, right? It's like we don't really give Jokic a hard time for not really being in the best shape, or as good as he could be.
Jamal Murray struggled to start off the season. Again, these are not predictions. I still think that the Denver Nuggets would be one of the top seeds in the league, but just starting off, they started off slow. And even Mike Malone, the coach, is saying like, man, our boys want to win a championship, but so far this season, they're not playing like they want to win a championship. So I'm putting them in the same tier with the Bucks, a team that's supposed to be great, but so far this season,
yeah, they're not playing bad. They're just not playing like up to par.
Grizzlies, it's kind of weird because the expectation of them is to be bad. They're a young, up-and-coming team.
Probably another
They've had
C1.
some good games, like the game against the Nets where John Morant put up his 37 points with the block against Kyrie Irving. Jared Jackson Jr. has had a solid season. Shout out to Jay Crowder for hitting that game winner. All that being said, they're somewhat like they're supposed to be bad, and they kind of
these early season like ratings, it's like it's so hard to gauge because like you can only tell so much through like the first like week or week and a half of basketball, where it's like you got like maybe some small idea where the team's heading, but yeah.
So I don't want to put them down there because they were supposed to be bad. You know what I'm saying? The Timberwolves have been one of the better teams in the league. Now,
Andrew Wiggins looking okay, isn't he?
Anthony Towns and Joel Embiid. So when we redo this in a week or two, they probably won't be on the B tier because they probably, and I say probably, we're going to lose their next 2 games without Karl Anthony Towns being there just because he's just so important to the team and he's so good. But the rest of the roster has been doing solid. Wiggins in the last couple games have been look decent. Josh Okogie is playing great defense and also hitting his shots. So I like their roster so far. I'll put them in the B tier. The Spurs are on the A tier. The Spurs on
Let's
A tier.
hear 'em.
You can never, and I mean never, count out the Spurs. And like,
Ain't gonna lie, I was peeping out the comment section and there was a few crispy flake threads that were really just hating on me and stuff, and just people just really being just jerks and stuff, which is fine. I understand, man. People get most about basketball. When it comes to counting out the Spurs, keep in mind that when I don't count the Spurs, I never counted out like Tim Duncan, Monte Tony Parker. This Spurs team to me, okay, yeah, they can make the playoffs. Okay, yeah. I'll give that to you, Spurs fans. They can definitely make the playoffs. Sacramento Kings look bad. Dallas Mavericks looking better than I thought, though. I don't know what Spurs fans want me to say. Like, if that 8th spot or 7th spot is like that precious to you, sure, you guys can definitely get that. I don't know what like Spurs fans just really. I don't know what you guys want me to say, man. Do you want me to say this is like a Western Conference Finals team? I don't really know. But yes, they that's why Kenny's putting them at the A tier, because they are looking better than what people thought. People were thinking that, okay, maybe this team, borderline playoff team. But no, they're going out there and they're winning some of their early basketball games. So I definitely give them props on that.
some people predicted this may be the year they don't make the playoffs. Again, early season, anything can happen. But so far, they've looked like an elite team, offensively and defensively. And that's even with like Trey Lyles being their starting center. And
Trey Lyles starting at center? What?
And LaMarcus hasn't really worked out together, but they're still putting together wins. Shout out to the Spurs, A tier. Utah Jazz. This is so tough, right?
Mike Conley's played horrid.
I'm putting him in the B tier. So far, the Utah Jazz offense has not clicked.
Is Conley playing better yet?
Got so many new pieces with Bogdanovich, Mike Conley, who started off slow. So their offense hasn't clicked, but their defense is just so elite that they put them in a point where, what are they, 4-2? They lost last night against the Kings on a tip-in, but that was the first game of this entire season where they gave up 100 points. That's elite defense. As soon as the offense comes around, this team is going to be
That's a good point.
Dangerous. So I'm putting them in the B tier so far. Clippers are also going in the B tier. They started off so strong, and then we got the low management with Kawhi. They lost against.
But I would even say the Clippers is like it's like the same case. I mean, you can realistically say as like the Detroit Pistons, where it's just like they don't have like their full team, where it really is hard to gauge because like once Paul George is back, it's like it's just that's it.
It's still going to be one of those teams that are going to be competing and contending for a championship.
That's who I still got winning it
right now. Suns. Remember, this is relative to what we expected. B tier, man.
I agree.
They looked good. They've looked good, and this is all without DeAndre Ayton, man. If Ayton was there, they could be here.
But the haters are going to put in your comment section. They're going to be like, "How dare he put the Phoenix Suns over the Milwaukee Bucks?" It's like that's not real. Like you can't compare the rankings. You got to look at each team individually at their situation, like Kenny was saying in the beginning of the video. But yeah, man, the haters are going to be like, "How dare you have them over the Denver Nuggets?" It's like that's not the point, man. That's not the point.
They're 2 plays away from being one of the better records in the NBA. Against the Nuggets, they were just... This team's looked good, man. Shout out to the Suns fans. I'm happy for y'all.
Finally got a point guard, even if it's Ricky Rubio.
Go out and watch every night without being disgusted. Shout out to the Suns for putting together a decent roster.
Aaron Baines, too. Damn.
Portland Trail Blazers have somewhat struggled. I think at this point they're 3-2.
Ooh, okay.
But they also have so many moving pieces, new guys coming in. Hassan Whiteside's
no Nurkic yet.
Bazemore, Mario Hezonja. These are all new guys that are trying to find their rhythm and find where they belong.
Give them like a C.
But they still have figured out how to be decent. And it's between the B and C tier. I'll probably put them at the C tier.
Yeah, they could be playing better. They could be.
Quickly put them there.
Yep.
Quickly put them there.
I think I did the same thing.
Year, one of my favorite teams to watch, and so far this year they have been borderline unwatchable. And I'm putting a lot of that on Luke Walton because last year they had one of the fastest paces in the league, which makes sense. You have De'Aaron Fox as your starting point guard. Run.
Bagley can run it too.
Break, find Buddy
Athletic. Well, he's not playing now, but when he is
so far
healthy.
this season, they've been one of the slowest teams in the league. It makes no sense. And probably a lot of that has to do with maybe their defense not being good.
Barnes can run it too.
To run a fast break when you're not getting stops. But Luke Walton has slowed this team down. His rotations are kind of weird. I'm not putting a lot of this on the players because Marvin Bagley is out too. But they just got they were the last team to get a win, and that was against the Jazz. They put up 101 points.
I think they need to trade for a veteran backup point guard.
All right, they look bad. And in the Western Conference, you cannot afford to start off slow. It's just a fact. The Knicks, I'll put them at the D tier because even though I think they're 1-5 or 1-4,
they play better though.
Each one of their games they have been in. Right, they've been this close to winning every single game.
That's why I got them at like C at least.
A couple different ways, like A, they don't have a closer, which they do not, or 2, you can say that they're choking, but it's not really that because they start off every game slow and they're down by 10 and they gotta catch up and then they do catch up and then they don't.
This is gonna sound weird, but I see the Knicks as like the new Miami Heat of the Eastern Conference or like the new LA Clippers. And you know what I'm saying? What I mean by that is that they literally have like the perfect roster where if you just like insert a Jimmy Butler or you like insert a Paul George or a Kawhi Leonard or just one of those guys, like he's saying, a closer, that's it, man. Like that team's good to go. It's like they have like the nice supporting cast. They just need that guy. And you know, whether RJ Barrett becomes that's going to take a few seasons. But I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to build like a nice foundation. So stars and free agency see that like, well, yeah, maybe the New York Knicks, maybe we'll consider them. So yeah.
Don't win the game. So if they find a way to not start off slow every game, this could be a team to win more games than we expected. But so far, they're on the D tier with the Pelicans.
Pelicans also been very close to their games.
Their favorites missing games. Zion is obviously out. This team is projected to be one of the teams to maybe be 8th, 9th, 10th seed. But so far, they started off very slow. With Brandon Ingram is having a great season so far. Lonzo Ball is shooting efficiently. And Josh Hart is playing power forward.
I said Brandon Ingram is looking like one of the best small forwards in the NBA. And people instantly got me saying that I was comparing him to like LeBron or Kawhi Leonard. And no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like he's no longer like in like that 20th range. He's more like in that, you know, is it bad to say top 10 small forward for Brandon Ingram the way he's been playing right now? Like, I'm not saying like overall, I'm just saying how he's playing right now. Is it bad to say top 10 Brandon Ingram small forward? No, man, the numbers he's put up, like, it's showing most improved player to me at least.
And it's okay. You know, they just got to win against the who is that? The Nuggets, where Jahlil Okafor was giving them buckets. I like the orchestration of this team. They just have to get healthy. Right?
Once Zion's back, it's going to be good.
The Charlotte Hornets. I'm putting them in the C tier.
Okay.
They looked way better than any of us expected.
Devontae Graham.
Agree on that. They were projected to be one of the worst teams in the league. And so far, they played decently. Like, they've been in almost every single game. I think there was one game they got blown out. But they got a couple.
Devontae looks like he should have
They're shooting the ball.
Rozier's contract.
Great. They got shooters. Graham is playing great off their bench. I like it. I like their orchestration, their roster. Then we have, like I mentioned earlier, this Houston Rockets team has not looked great so far because they go out every night and they say, hey, the way we're going to win games.
I do think it's impressive that James Harden is leading the league in scoring and shooting like 7%. Like, like, how do you do that? I mean, I know a lot of it is getting to the free throw line and stuff and just shooting the basketball out, but regardless, like, it's crazy. Like, imagine he just like starts shooting like what James Harden normally shoots. This dude could be averaging 50, man.
Is to outgun you. And if James Harden's not having a good shooting game, you're not going to outgun them. If Russell Westbrook is not having a good game, you're not going to outgun any team.
They need to switch their offensive style.
They're starting to defend well, but so far they gave up 150 points to the Wizards.
Damn, who scored all the points?
Not a very good team.
Thomas Bryant?
Slow. I think they're 3-2 or something like that. They start off slow. We put them in a C tier. Miami Heat. I'm putting them at A tier, man.
Yeah.
The Miami Heat.
Kendrick Nunn.
They have looked amazing so far this season. And the last couple games, again, no Trae Young. But even if Trae Young was there, I would have probably picked them to win those games too.
At least one of them,
Jimmy
for
Butler
sure.
has just come back, and he looks good. He put up 5 points, but he was the leader of that team where he only scored 5 and like 10 assists.
They're a fun team. Definitely a fun team.
Kendrick Nunn, undrafted rookie, playing amazing. And then Tyler Hero's playing great too. Bam Adebayo. It's just so many players. And then now they're missing Justice Winslow, and it doesn't matter too much because they have so much depth at every position.
Goran Dragic, rejuvenated for sure.
So good for them. Bulls. I will put them here, but they won last night.
They did beat my
So
Pistons.
I'll put them in the D tier. The Bulls have been one of the most disappointed teams in the NBA so far. Because not only me, like Zach Lowe, some big publications had the Bulls as a borderline playoff team. And so far this season, they have been up in almost every game. The only game we've been terrible was against the Raptors, right? They were up by 10 on the Knicks. They were up by 10 on the Hornets. They were up by 10 on the Cavs.
Up about 17 on the Pistons, I think it was.
And last night we were up by 10 on the Pistons, and we almost blew that one.
I think it was higher than that. It was closer to 20.
It's been hard being a Bulls fan so far this season, but they did close out that last game, and maybe this is the game to start it up. Then we have the Brooklyn Nets.
That's like a D or a C.
I'm going to put them at the C tier as well. The Brooklyn Nets are fun because of Kyrie Irving. The rest of the players seem like disjointed as far as like the flow of the offense goes, and that was not what the team.
What team does that remind you of? You know, you have Kyrie Irving, and the rest of the young players around him just seem like they don't know how to fit in with Kyrie. Sounds just like last year's Boston Celtics to me. It sounds just like last year's Boston Celtics to me. And that's why you need a guy like a LeBron or hopefully Kevin Durant next season to just kind of reel in Kyrie Irving and be like, hey, man, like, this is going to be your role over here. You're still going to get your shots and stuff. But I don't know. I just think Kyrie just lacks leadership. And I don't know. He just likes it right now.
Team was last year. The team last year just seemed so fluid, right? But when you add a guy like Kyrie Irving, you obviously want to give him the ball and say, get out my way, right? But like, man, if they would have lost last year,
but not every play.
I would have had them down here because they lost against the Grizzlies. Like, they have a few losses under their belt. You're like,
just lost to the Pistons.
Wins. But again, another team with so many
without our point guards,
that you want to give them a little bit more time before you start to really judge them. So I put them at the C tier. OKC didn't really have many expectations heading into the season. Shai Gilgeous is playing his butt off.
Yeah, they're playing better than I thought.
Struggling to pass the ball, which I never in my lifetime expected to say that sentence. I'm putting them at the D tier. I'm putting the.
I could argue C tier for the OKC Thunder.
Steph Curry is out, and him being out is a blessing in disguise because they can real life tank and get a top pick.
Gonna get James Wiseman.
Even when Steph Curry was there, they were getting blown out every game, except for that one game against the Pelicans. They were getting blown out every single game. And I'm putting them in the F tier, man. I put them in the F tier. They were a team I projected to be in the playoff hunt. And with Steph Curry, they just weren't playing good at all. The defense was non-existent. Non-existent defense. The Boston Celtics going on to the A tier. Way better. They
Jason Tatum,
way better than
looking good.
I expected this team to be a staggering offense where you're seeing a lot of ISO from Jason Tatum and
like a 49-win team.
But so far, they're starting to, in the last couple games,
46.
Start to pass the ball.
But now they're higher.
Yes, we're still getting isolations from JT and from
low
Kemba,
50s.
But in that, you do have the flowy offense that you always want to see from them. Big game against the New York Knicks where Jason Tatum hit the game winner.
Better chemistry with Kemba.
4-1. Lakers look like the best team in basketball right now.
Yeah, I will say when I did my video, and like I said, there's been like a few games since then. I had the Lakers a bit low. I definitely should have put them higher up. I definitely didn't give them credit, so I will definitely take the L on that one. The L in Lakers.
A tier.
Whoops.
I need to say much. LeBron.
Might have just screwed my microphone up again. Hopefully not.
Davis. This is beautiful. I'm putting the Orlando Magic on the D tier, man. I'm putting them on the D tier. I think
Aaron Gordon's not been very good.
That's not true because the Pacers also have 2 wins. But there's a team again projected to be in the playoffs, and so far the offense have been non-existent.
Vucevic looks
like they just cannot score the ball
like a normal dude.
That's going to be tough to win games if you don't score the ball. Even if your defense is elite, scoring the ball is so important. So I already saw people in Magic Twitter, because I do follow some people that are diehard Magic fans, are
savage fan base
trying to get them some more scoring, and I don't blame them because Vucevic hasn't started off very good. Aaron Gordon has been disappointing so far, and they just don't really have much offense. So far, they are a D tier team. So I think that's where I'm going to leave it. I like my list. Again, this is not a projection video. So a team that's on the D tier can move up to the A tier in a couple weeks if they just...
Yeah, it's like the first day of 2 weeks of basketball, guys.
Can fall down if they start to struggle.
Okay, that is the end of this list right there. I will say I think he did a great job with it. Like, there's nothing on this list where I have like big arguments about. Like I said, there's little things here and there that maybe I have like a change of opinion on, but overall, like, no, like everything he said, he backed it up. It looks good to me, man. Looks good to me. So, guys, give me your thoughts about it in the comments section below. Like, if you want to check out my list, see how it compares. Now, keep in mind, there's been a few more games played since he's done his, so take it with a grain of salt because, of course, my opinion would change based off the last few games and stuff. But yeah, man, that's on my main channel, Crispy Flakes. Thank you all so much for watching. Link to Kenny's channel in the description below. And peace out, my friends.